You know, I know some people won't want to believe this, but I actually am very happy to see that Halo Infinite is not only scoring well, but has rebounded well from Halo 5 and also a lot of the predictions that people were making with this one. Obviously, Halo wasn't in a great state last year, hence they delayed it. This is key for Microsoft going forward. They cannot afford to put their games out early and have lackluster quality. That's been something that has plagued Microsoft for a long time. You just can't do it. You've got to be able to kind of separate yourself and, put your games out there that deserve to be, withheld and give people the version that the developers actually see and love. You know what I mean? So this is a huge thing for both 343 and Xbox and Halo. To say Halo is back, we'll have to wait and see how the jury reacts to that before we kind of jump on it. But it is safe to say that it's actually moving up in quality, which is a very good thing. And I can't wait to talk about this because it also looks like maybe upgraded in some very good instances. And so, again, I'm going to get into this. It's a good topic. It's going to be a very polarizing topic, I'm sure. But what else is new? But it's going to be a video you don't want to miss. Hey there, everyone. I'm the Crapgamer, and this, of course, is Crapgamer Reviews, your home for gaming news, opinions, reviews, and much more. You'll probably notice a few cool changes around here, and hopefully that doesn't stop you from giving us a like and possibly even consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. Thank you so much for choosing to spend some of your free time with me and my silly YouTube channel. It really does mean a lot. Now, again, Halo Infinite right now on Metacritic, it sits at with 69 reviews. Of course, this could go up or it could go down. There could be a lot more reviews coming in. There's 69 reviews right now for it on Xbox Series X. It sits at an 87, which is a very good score. That's a very big upgrade over Halo 5, and it looks like a lot of people are really loving it. IGN gave the single player campaign a 9 out of 10, just like the multiplayer. So overall, it gets a 9 out of 10. Obviously, this is really a huge step for Microsoft and for 343. Digital Foundry did their thing with it. Of course, obviously, it looks like there's been a new comparison video that highlights the greatly improved textures and more over last year's build. So a new Halo Infinite comparison video has been shared online, highlighting the improvements including in the final version of the game over the build showcased last year. The comparison video, which is different than the Digital Foundry one, highlights how textures have generally been improved. Lighting and shadows have also changed, which include God rays, luminosity, and more. So yeah, very interesting to see that. This is the Halo Infinite's launch week, December 8th. It's going to be coming out. The multiplayer portion has already been out for a little while now. Some of you maybe have played it or not. I reviewed the multiplayer. I think it's a blast. I think it's fun. I also think that, hey, they probably need to go back and add a few things, redesign some things, do something to make it a little bit easier to level up and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I'm pretty satisfied with it, and I personally probably wouldn't spend money on anything in the game. It is nice to see that they're able to kind of get some nice things going for that. So they did a really good job with this, and now the campaign stuff looks like it's coming along really well and been possibly even upgraded from what we've seen before. This is huge. This is huge. I think that it really goes to show you that basically they're very aware and self-aware of things. I know it wasn't something that a lot of people expected them, but obviously they like what they were doing. So according to this, which John Linneman did it, he says, Halo Infinite is a brilliant game, honestly against the odds. He feels that 343 has delivered one of the best first-person shooters of the last decade. It's a release that far exceeds the studio's previous work on Halo 4 and 5 in terms of design and in nailing the combat sandbox experience. Worries they had about the transition to an open-world game have been besieged, and despite the seemingly difficult development period, they love the game. Is it perfect? Certainly not. There are numerous tech issues to address, and fundamentally, he's not sure that this is the game that was originally envisioned based on reviewing early marketing assets. Regardless, though, you've got to play it. He says he wants to tackle the thorny issue of the open world first. The gradual shift in the game's business away from linear design to wide open play, crammed with busy work and filler content, is becoming a real issue. Franchises like Far Cry and Assassin's Creed exhibit these issues at their worst. Thankfully, Halo Infinite's approach to a level design works brilliantly, just as the preview build suggested. taking the fundamental building blocks of Halo 1's second mission and expanding it into something far larger in scope. It works and it retains much of what makes Halo special while introducing a level of freedom that feels like a natural extension. Think OG Crysis rather than a latter-day Far Cry, and you'll probably get the idea of what they're talking about. Halo Infinite is built around the concept of a broken Halo ring. And look to the distance and you'll see pieces floating around in space, disconnected from one another. As you progress, you'll explore these pieces and they basically serve as mission zones. Again, comparable to the second mission of Halo 1 but larger. You always have a main objective just like a classic Halo game, but the width of the mission has been expanded, allowing you to find your own way. The various outposts scattered around the map are optional, but offer tangible rewards such as vehicles, and once taken, there's never so much content as to feel overwhelming. You don't feel as if Halo is a giant checklist of tasks, and this is ultimately why it works, ultimately when a lot of modern open world games fail. While there's macro scale detail at the micro level also impresses. Weapons, structure, enemies, and other objects all feature plenty of granular detail, which is really good because I think that a lot of people were maybe suspecting that some of the details and stuff were lacking in the game, and now it looks like that's not the case. So, in addition to moving Halo into a larger world, Infinite also marks the first time the series has tackled the day-night cycle. Infiltrating a base at night feels different than taking it on midday, but lighting such a world is difficult. In the case of Halo Infinite's Slipspace engine, the team has shifted to a fully real-time lighting system with diffuse global illumination handled via a probe system. These probes contain the lighting data, which is sampled across the world, allowing for objects to appear directly in it and look directly lit. This system allows for real-time update, which is crucial when you have a dynamic day and night cycle. The main issue is, in a way, is which shadows are handled. Currently, Halo Infinite leans primarily on cascaded shadow maps and some screen space ambient occlusion, and that seems to basically be it. The problem is there are a lot of huge vistas in this game where you can see miles into the distance. The shadow map cascade distance is relatively aggressive, so as you move away from objects you'll see shadows disappearing, and there's no fallback from anything larger than the scale in the shadows. Compare the contrast with, say, Red Dead Redemption 2's open world and see the difference is vast. The problem isn't new, has been addressed, and it has been addressed to a certain extent in many years. Unreal Engine 4, for example, allows for signal and sign distance fields which give a required effect at a low cost for the GPU, so they've had some good examples in here. So in overall, they think the world is generally attractive thanks to its huge vistas and unique terrain design. It's certainly more inspired than the typical open world environment that they're used to. So Halo Infinite isn't just about an open world. In fact, the game starts with a brace of interior missions that are beautifully designed. Whether it's the initial Halo-like ship design or the awesome new take on the classic Forerunner architecture, these elements are defined by Halo in the original Halo, and so it really kind of looks like that. The initial handshake levels also demonstrate that combat is pitch perfect, with a reintroduction to classic Halo opponents from grunts and brutes to elites as well, which, you know, obviously that's something that I think a lot of people are kind of looking forward to. At this point, maybe we should go back to the rendering basics. This piece is mostly based on their experiences playing the Xbox Series X, so expect, you know, the colleagues to present a cross-platform analysis soon. 2 modes are offered. Quality mode is 60 FPS is the best way to play. It leans into dynamic resolution to maintain performance, much like Halo 5, but the game always looks crisp and doesn't seem to drop beneath 80% resolution, scaling on both axes. Performance mode aims for 120 FPS with a max resolution of 1440p, but minimum can drop beneath 1080p when things get heated. With the exception of the occasional frame drops, the quality mode is fine running at 60 frames per second, but performance is far more variable in performance mode. Normally the system's VRR support would handle any resulting stutter, but in his experience it didn't work with Halo Infinite, which is something they need to address as well. Performance is mostly sound. Perceptional performance in cutscenes with in-game animations was an issue in their preview build and has not been corrected for the final game. Also bizarre is that while the game runs at 60 FPS or 120 FPS on Series X, facial animations seem to run at half that rate, creating serious visual continuity. Let's be clear, the composition and detail of the cutscenes is excellent, but the choppiness in motion is seriously off-putting. Put simply, camera and character movement doesn't appear fluid, while facial animations look off. The rendering is updated as it should, but there's something seriously wrong in the update in the content itself. So, thankfully, 343 contacted them through Microsoft PR to tell us that this is being addressed in an upcoming post-launch patch, but it is surprising to see it all, especially in reviewing Halo Infinite marketing materials from the controversial 2020 gameplay trailer. So, Again, it's not a perfect game to them, but it is a very good game and a big step up from what we've seen in, like obviously Halo 5, thank goodness. And, I'm glad to see that the vision that they've had is really kind of coming home to fruition. That means everything. So I'm glad that, people seem to be loving the game and that it seems like Halo is back. I can't wait to dive into it. Originally, I was going to wait. It was just something that I was going to wait and play co-op, but waiting, 6 months, I definitely wouldn't have. I would have ended up getting spoiled in terms of the story, and I care about the story, so I don't want that to happen. So, with that being said, I'm going to link this. What's your guys' thoughts on this? Is Halo back for you, or do you hate all the publicity that it's getting again? Let me know. Sound off, rate, comment, subscribe. Rack 'em up, fact 'em up, crap gamer 'em up. Crap Gamer out.